Hey, what's going on, Bloodborne fans? This is Twister Don, also known as Jiu-Jitsu Boy 98 here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in again to my channel and watching another Bloodborne video. This video we're actually talking about the overall PvP standing at this point in time in this patch, in this day and age of what Bloodborne is right now. You know, it's still early, and I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts and my opinions on what I like about Bloodborne PvP and what really right now I don't like, and I hope that in the future patches it gets fixed. So feel free to comment in the section below and let me know if you agree or disagree, or if you have any opinions on the situation at hand. And I think a lot of the stuff I'm talking about is going to be a universal type of complaint, or universal type of like when it comes to some of the PvP stuff. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about what I like about the PvP, man. It really just it stems from the PvE, and it stems from the essential mechanics and gameplay of this game, man. It's just so fun to be able to move your character around with such crisp movements and such gameplay on this game, man. If I was to swing my sword, if I was to dodge, if I was to hit a button, then by God, you better believe my character on the screen is going to respond to what I'm doing on the controller. And so that's something I really like. So here, recently I went back and bought Scholar of the First Sin for the PlayStation 4, and upon playing that game again, man, it really just makes me like Bloodborne's mechanics that much better, because it just felt like everything was in just slow motion, and I used to play a lot of that game. And so it really just allows me to appreciate what we have here, and that's why I have such I guess a hope for some of the complaints that I want to talk about in a minute to be addressed with a patch or something by FromSoft, so we can enjoy some good quality PvP in this game. So I would say that was my #1 favorite thing about this game. Is just the way it controls. It's so smooth, and when you convert that over to PvP, man, it's the same way. It's the same way. So it's really fast paced, and that allows for some potential if we can somehow get some of the issues addressed. But so off of that topic, let's talk about some of my complaints. And my first complaint is probably the biggest complaint that ruins, that I wouldn't say ruins, but it's definitely something everybody's been experiencing. It's just the overall connectivity, man. The connectivity on this game is garbage, and I don't know if it's because of the bell summoning system or what it is. But case in point, I do a lot of my PvP here in the Nightmare Frontier. So I'm here in the Nightmare Frontier, and I'm having to, in order to get consistent PvP, dashboard to the PlayStation Home and close the application and go back in to manually reset my invasion timer, because something is messed up in the invasion timer. The opponents that you fight against, if you just sit there and just hope that someone will invade you, then you're going to be waiting for a while. So resetting my timer allows me to get an invasion pretty instantly, or get someone summoned to my world. So that is a problem. When I'm having to close an app, that's a problem. I shouldn't have to do that. That's something they should address, and hopefully they'll patch that. Hopefully they just work out a few kinks on the server, or whatever the issue is. I'm not sure. So if they fix that, that'll be great. But talking about the bell summoning system, I definitely think that might be a step backwards, because when you think about it, the only people in the game that are actually summoning the bell keepers, since there's so few of them that are actually in the game, other than some of the last areas, usually the people are looking for some co-op. So in these situations, you're invading people who are, there's 2 of them or 3 of them, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And this is going straight into my next complaint, is with the healing system. And I'm fine for healing and stuff, whatever, you're allowed to heal, but let us have a better way to punish it. And you can say that you can do the parries and all that kind of stuff, and it's hit or miss on that. Most of the time it's miss, and you can get lucky and parry somebody who's healing. But when you're going up against 2-3 opponents, man, they got 20 blood vials apiece. That's 60 blood vials compared to your 20. They can heal 3 times the amount that you can. So that's definitely a problem, since you don't have a way of punishing somebody who is having sloppy gameplay. Somebody's just going around hitting buttons, shooting a gun. There's no way to punish them with technique, at least as of yet. And sure, you can parry with a gun and get a visceral attack, but if that's all you're relying on, like I said before, that's not good enough. And you can defeat 2-3. I'm not saying it's impossible. For sure, I've seen people do it. I focus on the 1v1 so far in this game, but give us a little something more on that. In the healing system, the way it works, I mean, you're popping, you're healing as fast as somebody was using a divine blessing. So we need some way of punishing that, or these matches are just not. You're not going to have those sweet gank spanks that you had in Dark Souls, and maybe even Dark Souls 2. So hopefully we'll get something as far as techniques go that we just don't know about yet. I know Epic Name Bro has been uploading some techniques to his channel, but they're mainly PvE related. So maybe we'll get something in PvP if we just be patient. It's really hard to see right now. So we've got healing, we've got the connectivity, and also let's go ahead and talk about the diversity. So I know a lot of people say, we like quality over quantity, and that's fine, but the problem is like, say I'm having a match, and I compare this game a lot to Dark Souls 1 because to me it reminds me a lot of it and it feels a lot like it. If you disagree with that, then that's cool, you have your own opinion. But if I'm having a match in a Dark Souls 1 PvP match, and I'm bringing out my build, first of all I got to worry about what my build is and what my opponent's build is, okay? So certain builds are good against certain other builds. It's paper, rock, scissors. And then you have the weapons. Certain weapons are good against certain other weapons. Paper, rock, scissors again. So, and then you have the techniques. Well, if you don't know the techniques, then you're probably going to lose to somebody that do know the techniques. So you got to think about your build, you got to think about the weapons, you got to think about the techniques, and put all of that together, and that makes your experience, that makes you the PvP player that you are, not including what goes on in the match. How can you adapt inside the match? Let me give you a quick example. So when I'm PvPing, one of my favorite builds was a Dex build, and I had the ability to use the Chaos Blade, the Fury Sword, the Gold Tracer, the Shotel, the Rapier, some form of a spear, and I had the ability to change between those weapons inside the match based on what my opponent was doing. So first of all, I have to check out his build, and I'm looking at his build, and that determines what I'm going to use. Then I'm looking at his weapon, and that also determines what I'm going to use. Now he may swap up his tactics mid-match, so then I may have to swap up mine, either use a different weapon or use a different style. You also have different styles of PvP in that game. You can be a player that punishes people, or a player that focuses on straight combat, a patient player, aggressive player. You have different types of magic that you might implement, even if they're just something like a great combustion, something that you can implement, or a wog or something. So you got to think about all that stuff. And my opponent may do this where I have to swap my tactics up and change complete weapons in the middle of the match based on what he does. So you have a lot of mind games in the Dark Souls PvP, and that's what made it so good and so fun. And when you was playing against gankers and stuff, you had the ability to punish them, because usually they wasn't that good and they weren't up to date with the techniques. So by your time playing the game, you got better at it, and the longer you played it, the longer you did more PvP, you was better, which made sense for you to be better than someone, since you pretty much spent more time. Anytime you spend the time doing something, you should be better at it. It's like wrestling. And the more you wrestle, the better you get at it. It's all about technique. So with that being said, that's probably my main complaints with the game. Overall, hopefully these issues can get patched, like the connectivity and maybe something to do with the healing. We'll see about that. So what do y'all think about it? What is your opinion on PvP right now? I know if they would fix the connectivity, a lot of you would be doing more PvP, or maybe you wouldn't have given up so far or so soon, since the release date was just last week, couple weeks or whatever it was. So what do you think, guys? What do you think? I think, you know, my biggest concerns going forward is how is FromSoft going to be able to address certain issues due to the fan base's requests. I know in Dark Souls 2 they did a really good job, but I don't know if this development team's a lot different. Maybe you have some of the same crew. How are they going to listen? How are they going to patch things? I know they didn't do a very good job in Dark Souls 1. It was pretty much to the release of the DLC before they really took an action on certain stuff. So anyways, guys, that's all I got here. I just wanted to make a quick video talking about some of the issues. Please let me know what you think, and hopefully they'll have some patches out and we'll get to PvPing like the old days. I'll see you guys next time.